Hi there, welcome or welcome back to my channel, Elevate Wellness. I am Coach Latanya. I have over 20 years in the fitness and wellness space. I help people online and in person achieve their fitness and wellness goals through programs, products, and services. And I stand in this space here to help you elevate wellness in your life too. Today, I want to share with you a few simple ways that you can burn more body fat. Now, I know that when I go into some stores, I see metabolism boosting teas and shakes and powders and all these different products. But did you know that you can actually boost your metabolism naturally? So today I'm going to be sharing with you a few ways that you can do that. So if you're interested in that topic, stay tuned. All right, thank you for sticking with me. So I'm so excited to share this with you because it really is a game changer. I get excited about this because I know it's worked for me, it's worked for my clients, and I believe that it will work for you as well. So let's get into it. I want to cover a few pieces of terminology first before we dive into the topic today. All right? So the first word I want to talk about is metabolism. We hear this all the time. What exactly is a metabolism? It's a chemical process that happens throughout the body within all of our cells of the various systems, and it helps to support growth, development, healing, recovery, all of those things, okay? So when we look at even our skin is part of the integumentary system, and which is like the hair, the skin, and the nails, and even our skin has a metabolism. So for example, if you've ever had like acne and you'll have it for like 2 days, but you can already see it's drying up. 2 days later, it's like turning dark, and then another 2 days it's like sloughing off. That means that your cellular turnover is pretty fast, so you're not hanging on to that pimple, 14 days, right? It's really just kind of getting out of the way. And one of the ways that we can have a healthy metabolism even in our skin is to have a nice skincare routine. Cleansing the skin, massaging the skin, the mask and things like that really helps to improve the skin's metabolism. So in the same way, when we eat food, right, that food is being processed, it's going into the cells, it's feeding the cells, especially if it's whole foods with vitamins and minerals and things like that, then our metabolism goes in, the body uses that food, right? And it uses it throughout the systems, the cellular systems, and it helps to promote development, recovery, healing, all of those great things, right? Now, let's talk about the next word. The next word is calorie. What is a calorie? We hear this all the time. Okay, so a calorie is really a measure of energy, right, from a food. And so I like to use this example. So if I am having a 200 calorie muffin before my workout, right? Let's say I'm going to have a 200 calorie muffin. I'm going to work out in like an hour and a half, okay? That muffin is going to fuel that workout, especially if I'm doing a little bit higher intense cardio. So maybe I'm running on the treadmill, maybe I'm doing a little bit of HIIT for 20 to 30 minutes. That muffin is going to be gone, it's going to be used as fuel, and it's going to be out of here, okay, because it's only 200 calories. But let's say that I have a 200 calorie muffin and then I'm sitting on the couch watching TV, maybe sitting on the couch working on a computer, right, getting some admin work done. I may not burn through it as quickly as I would if I were, doing a more intense type of activity, okay? Now, in the same way, if we are having a 500 calorie lunch, but we go back and sit at our desk, we may not be breaking down that food or metabolizing that food as quickly as someone who is, a little bit more active. And so this is why when you hear in the diet industry, they count a lot of calories, counting numbers, the numbers on the scale, counting calories, because if we have a sedentary lifestyle, we have to make sure that we're not over consuming too much food at one time because it can be stored as fat. And lastly, I want to talk about body fat percentage. So when we jump on that scale, we see the sum total of everything that we are, except our brilliance, right? And so everything that we are means that our bones, our muscle, water retention, all of those things, right? It's not just body fat. So it's important for us to understand our body fat percentage, because we don't want bone loss, we don't want muscle loss, we don't want blood loss, right? We want fat loss. And in order to, so from that weight loss, what we're really looking to achieve is fat, okay? And so in order to really get successful weight loss, we want to change the body's composition, okay? So we want to increase lean body mass, and we want to decrease body fat, okay? So this is another reason why fat loss is a great approach to weight loss. Okay, so now let's get into the topic. I'm going to be sharing with you some ways that you can burn more fat on a daily basis. Okay, so let's start with the food. If we're looking at calories, let's go back to that 200 calorie muffin, okay? If we look at the 200 calorie muffin, and let's just say it's not even a protein muffin, it's just a regular made with, you know, it's low fat, so let's go with that because that's a buzzword we can see in the grocery store. Let's say it's a low-fat muffin. Let's say it's made with, I don't know, some healthy whatever buzzword, right? And so we have that, right? And that muffin is low calorie, but it's only going to hold us for maybe 2-3 hours, right? Maybe 2 or 3 hours, because it doesn't have any healthy fats in it. It's low fat. It doesn't have any protein in it. It's just a plain, right? So what happens is, we're going to break that down quickly, and the breaking down process, believe it or not, starts on the tongue, okay? There's an enzyme. As soon as we eat a carb, it starts to, a simple carb like that, it starts to break down on the tongue. This is why when we have foods like that, we keep craving them. So it's not your fault that you keep craving these foods. It is scientifically proven that the moment we have carbs, especially those simple carbs, they begin to break down on the tongue. The brain catches it and it wants more, okay? Now, here's the issue. Because it doesn't have any protein in it, because it doesn't have any healthy fats in it, it's not satiating. So what's going to happen is you want to eat again in 2 hours. So now you have another snack, right? So now you're eating every 2 hours, every 3 hours. So what I recommend is eating more satiating foods like nuts. That's a great snack. Almonds are a great snack because they have fat, they have fiber, they have sources of protein as well. Fat, fiber, and protein are your best friends, okay? Because they are satiating. They hold you. The fiber, it slows down the digestion, so it's holding you a little bit longer. We eat turkey and chicken and things like that. It actually has a thermogenic effect, which means that we have to burn calories. We burn calories just digesting the chicken and the turkey, okay? Now, these foods are also satiating because it's a protein, right? It takes longer to digest. It's not breaking down on the tongue. It's satiating, it's feeding the muscles, it's feeding that lean muscle mass, okay? Very important. So we're gonna go back to that shortly, all right? And then olive oil is another great food. I cook with olive oil a lot. It's very good. You know, put it in a pan, half a tablespoon, saute your vegetables. Very good, and it is a healthy fat. It's also satiating. It's good. It's the polyphenols. It's very good for, it's a very good antioxidant as well. It's great for your skin, your hair, your nails. It's very, very good. Avocados, all of those foods are satiating. Avocado has a lot of fiber in it. It's actually a fruit, but it's very good because it has magnesium. And so I think it has potassium in it. It has so many vitamins and minerals in it. It has fiber in it. So again, it's satiating, and it's going to help you to feed that lean muscle mass, okay? Now, when we have these food products made with whatever, right? 200 calorie, low fat, these types of muffins, these types of food products, they don't necessarily feed our muscles in the same way. They actually they go into body fat storage. When we're having too much sugar, it sits here, okay? too much sugar in wine, too much sugar from fruit, too much sugar from. And it's not that we need to be afraid of sugar. We don't need to be afraid of carbs. We need to be mindful of the excess, because when we have too many calories, which is energy, and we're not using it, it turns to storage. If we're storing fat, we need to be able to tackle that. We need to be able to address that, okay? And so satiating foods are a great way to do that, because you're not eating every 2 hours. You may eat every 4 to 5 hours, so you're stretching out your eating window. You can even take that eating window from an 8 to 10 or 10 to 8 hour window, and then you can enjoy some intermittent fasting. I like to do mine at night, so if I finish eating by 6 o'clock, then I don't eat again until 8 o'clock. Most of the time, I finish my eating by 5, and then I don't eat again until about 6 the next day. So I'm getting about 13 hours of a fasting window, okay? Now, if I'm really hungry, then I'll have like a handful of nuts or pumpkin seeds, again, because that's satiating. I don't need a lot, and it gets me where I need to go, and I stay on track, okay? So, satiating foods are a great way to burn body fat. The next one is exercise. If your goal is to lose weight and burn more body fat, it's important to understand that all exercise is not created equal. Been in this industry, like I said, for a long time, and I see a lot of women jump on the treadmill, walk on the treadmill for an hour, close to an hour, do the the abductor machine, the hip machine, right, and the abdominal machine, and then leave. But that approach to weight loss really isn't as effective as circuit training. Circuit training is when you do a set amount of exercises with very little rest in between. So for example, let's say I go and do a push-up, then a squat, and then a walkout plank, and then a row, and then a halo, right? So I'm targeting the whole body. I am doing 10 to 15 reps. My rest is literally going to get a drink of water, a sip of water from my cup, right? And going to the next exercise. So I'm taking very little rest in between. That helps to keep the heart rate up into body fat burning zone, okay? And so because it's in that body fat burning zone, I don't necessarily need the aerobic, right? So my body doesn't need to tap into carbs for energy or from a pre-workout. My body taps into body fat reserves for energy. This is why that's more effective. This is also why I create these walking workouts that you can do in the comfort of your own space. It's warm now, whether you are in an Airbnb, a Vrbo, families' homes, whatever. You can do it in the comfort of your own space, but it keeps you in a zone where you're targeting body fat, okay? This is how I have been able to lean out from doing these workouts, okay? And this is why I started this channel, because it was so effective for me. I needed to share it. The circuit training workouts is what I recommend instead of the long workouts, okay? Now, I recommend doing the circuit training style 3 to 4 times a week. You can do different formats. It really is determined on your lifestyle, your ability, and things like that, okay? So 3 to 4 days a week for the circuit training style. And then I also recommend the cardio, right? Now, when it comes to cardio, I do not recommend doing the long forms of cardio. One of the reasons why is because when we do too much cardio, we actually start to feed off of our muscle, which is linked to the metabolism, okay? So what that means is we're actually eating up some of that muscle, and which is important to maintain that lean muscle mass. So we don't want to decrease lean muscle mass, because that means we're going to increase body fat, right? So lean muscle mass helps to burn fat all day long, even when you're sleeping, okay? Lean muscles require energy. They require more energy than body fat does, okay? So whenever I'm working with a client, my goal is always to improve their metabolism by way of weight training, by way of circuit training, okay? So this means that we can take an individual from burning 10 calories per pound of body weight to 15, to working up to 15 calories per pound of body weight, okay? So this means that someone that is 200 pounds, we take them from having 2,000 calories or burning 2,000 calories to now they're burning 2,500 calories, okay? So that means they can eat the same amount and still lose weight. They don't have to go into a deficit, okay? That's just an example. I'm not quite sure if those numbers are accurate, but that's just an example, okay? So this is why it's important to do the exercise, but it's important to also understand the type of exercise that you want to participate in order to get that body fat, that thermogenic effect, okay? Now, the next thing I want to talk about is your activity, right? I like to call it fidgeting. It's called NEAT. It's the activity that we do outside of exercise. This is, I think, is one of the most important, because I've seen where, especially if we're sedentary and we're working, at a desk for anywhere between 8 to 12, sometimes even 16 hours. I know sometimes I have to do it too. And so what happens is we're sitting all these hours, we get the workout, let's say we get that workout in early in the morning, but we've been sitting all day. So it's important to get up, get out, and move. And one of the ways that we can do that is walking. We don't need any equipment to do it, okay? So let's say, for example, to increase your daily activity, your daily fidgeting, you can go for a walk before work, go for a walk for lunch, right? Go for a walk and then have your lunch. And then you can do a walking workout after dinner or when you get home, and then enjoy dinner, right? And so that way you're getting at least 10,000 steps just by doing that, walking for 20, 30 minutes, at each time. So it's like an interval, because it's spaced out throughout the day. You're doing spurts of movement throughout the day. You're strengthening your body. It's good for your heart. It's good for lowering cortisol. It has so many benefits to it. It helps you sleep better at night. You feel better. You're melting fat. You're building muscle. You're strengthening your bones. There's so many benefits to it. Just walking. Imagine you do that every day, Monday through Friday, right? And then let's say that you are cleaning up on the weekends. You're going here, you're going there, you're running errands to the grocery store, you're doing laundry, all of those things. That's another 10,000 steps. And that's not even working out. So sometimes when I've had a busy week of working out, working with clients, doing some gardening, cutting the grass, I will actually, my recovery day is just cleaning up around the house, up and down, washing this, hanging that out. And that's how I get my 10,000 or more steps in, okay? So it doesn't have to be complicated, but it's important that all of us, that we all get activity in, okay? And so it's not enough to just get a workout in 5 days a week if you're being inactive the other, 16 to 18 hours that you're awake. All right. So those are my simple ways that you can improve your body fat burning ability. It does not take any teas or pills or powders or anything like that. You can do it with food. You do it with certain types of food, right? You can also do it with certain types of movement as well as lifestyle, okay? So I hope that this video helps you today. If so, leave a comment, let me know, and share it with a few of your besties. If you enjoyed this video and you have not yet subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe and hit that notification bell so the next time I upload a video, you will be among the first to be notified. All right, for everyone who's already subscribed here, have some new subscribers, I want to thank you so much for joining me here. Thank you so much for joining this community. I do these workouts and these videos for you. Okay, so I hope that you're enjoying them, and I hope that you're finding great value in them as you elevate wellness in your life. Until next time, live beautiful.